Mama, please.
Stop crying, my child. You will be fine.
Ada was only 9 years old when her mother made a decision that changed her life forever. In the quiet village of Achin, many mothers believed they were protecting their daughters. They believed that once a girl starts showing signs of maturity, she would begin to attract unwanted attention from men long before she was ready for it. So, out of love and a desire to keep their children safe, they turned to a practice known as breast ironing. This is the story of Ada. Ada was only 9 years old. She was the youngest of 3 children and the only daughter of Mama Ada. She was a cheerful little girl who spent most of her days helping her mother hawk kola nuts around the village markets. Every evening, after returning home, Ada would sit beside her mother and talk about everything that had happened during the day. She would tell stories about the people she met, the things she saw, and the funny moments she experienced while hawking. One evening, after returning from the market, Ada ran to her mother.
Mama, you won't believe what happened at the market today.
What happened, my daughter?
Ugo, the palm wine seller, called me over when I was passing by his shop.
And what did he want?
He just smiled and said I was becoming a very beautiful girl.
He said that?
Yes, Mama. Then he even gave me a bottle of palm wine and told me to keep smiling.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that, Mama? Did I do something wrong?
To Ada, it was just another story to share. She laughed as she told her mother about it, but Mama Ada did not laugh. A strange feeling settled in her stomach. Throughout the night, she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about what Ada had told her. The next day, she visited her friend Iyabisi. She told her what was bothering her, and after listening carefully, Iyabisi reminded Mama Ada of the old tradition.
If you want her to continue hawking without attracting unwanted attention, you should do what our mothers did for us. You know that girl will grow into a beautiful young woman. It is better to protect her now than regret it later.
Those words stayed in Mama Ada's mind. A few days later, she made a decision that would change her daughter's life forever. It was a quiet evening. The sun had already disappeared behind the hills when Mama Ada called her daughter into a room. A traditional medicine man named Dibia Okoro was already waiting inside. Ada was surprised. The medicine man was usually called only when someone was sick, so she wondered if something was wrong. But nobody explained anything to her. Instead, she was told to remain calm and do as she was told. Confused and frightened, Ada looked at her mother for answers.
Don't worry. Everything would be fine.
At the age of 9, Ada did not understand what was happening. She cried and begged her mother to stop, but her mother believed she was protecting her daughter from future danger.
Mama, please.
Stop crying, my child. You will be fine.
By the time everything was over, Ada was left with pain she could not explain. She had questions nobody wanted to answer. The healing took several weeks. Even after the physical pain has faded, a scar still remained. The scar that stayed with her for the rest of her life. As the years passed, Ada began noticing that her body was developing differently from other girls her age. While her friends grew naturally, she often felt left behind. She became uncomfortable with her appearance and struggled with her confidence. The older she became, the more questions she had. Whenever she tried to bring it up, she was told to forget about it. So she learned to keep her feelings to herself. Years later, Ada got married and became a mother. She had looked forward to caring for her own children and giving them all her love, but motherhood brought another painful reminder of her past. She struggled to breastfeed her babies. Despite her efforts, she could not produce enough milk to feed her baby. She watched her children lose weight and eventually she had to rely on formula to help them grow. Many nights she would cry, wondering whether things would have been different if that decision had never been made for her. The emotional impact was just too difficult. Although she loved her mother, she often felt a deep sense of hurt, and for a long time, Ada carried that pain in silence. She rarely spoke about what had happened to her. In fact, there were times where she convinced herself that it was better not to talk about it at all. The people around her had taught her to move on, to accept it as part of life, and to keep her feelings to herself. But as the years went by, Ada began to realize the silence was helping no one. She often wondered how many women were carrying the same pain, how many young girls were going through similar experiences without understanding what was happening to them, how many mothers were repeating the same practice simply because it was what they had been taught. That was when she decided to speak up. She knew her story could not change what had happened to her, but perhaps it could prevent another child from going through the same thing. With that goal in mind, Ada started a foundation dedicated to educating parents, young girls, and communities about the long-term effects of breast ironing and other harmful traditional practices. She traveled to schools, community centers, and village gatherings, sharing her experience and encouraging open conversations that many people had avoided for years. Through her foundation, Ada helped many families see things differently. Some mothers admitted they had never known the lasting effects of the practice. Others shared their own painful experiences for the first time. Today, Ada continues to tell her story, not because she wants sympathy, but because she hopes it will inspire change. This is the story of Ada, a girl who refused to let the consequences of a harmful traditional practice break her spirit. Through courage, faith, and determination, she transformed her pain into purpose and became a beacon of hope for others. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our growing community. Together, we can keep African stories alive and help create a better future for the next generation.